Hey guys, this is Eric Conover from Nerdy Geek Talks. First of all your nerdy geeky needs here with episode 8 of Mandalore Mandate. Joining me today I have Luke. How you doing, Luke?
Oh, I'm excited now.
Yep,
I'm
we're
gonna
here
pleasure
to
myself for this.
discuss the new issue of the Darth Vader comic. Very exciting. There's a lot to talk about. So, what issue is this? I cannot remember.
This is 21.
21. This comic can
I have it.
drink. Alright, so, basic rundown.
That's a great title. That's a great title right
What
there.
this comic can drink.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the title. All right, but anyways, what was I gonna say? It starts off with okay. Well, actually, let's just do a quick summary. Basically, Vader goes to Mustafar, destroys Padme's
And what
ship in the
ship, Eric?
process, and Padme's
Ship does he go in?
I said he destroys Padme's ship in doing so. Crashes there. The architects are like, "Hey, what do you want us to build?" He's like, "Shut up." Goes and prays by a rock.
Stares at a rock. Yeah,
Yep.
stares at a rock for like 5 minutes.
While the designers are like, okay, well, let's just try something. The lead architect designs the building in a
I
couple
designed
hours.
the box!
She walks over, shows it to Vader, like, hey, do you like it? And he's like, this isn't it. Like, what are you doing? She goes to walk back to the ship to, like, modify it and screams and is shot. Then we see as Vader's like, what the heck? Walks over to the ship. Her assistant is wearing this mask that Sidious gave him, and Vader cuts him down. And then we see that there is the plans for
Does
what
he cut him
is.
down or just like punch him?
Oh no, he cuts him down. He cuts him, slices him across the chest. That dude's dead.
I'm looking at this right now.
He
'Cause
slices.
I didn't
him,
think I didn't.
No, he slices him across the chest. He has his lightsaber activated.
Oh, he
and everything.
does. He
Yep.
does.
Uh,
Wow. So you think he's dead?
Oh, he's definitely dead.
Oh, that's sad.
You thought he was alive?
I thought they're gonna get like a little bit more interaction, maybe.
Oh no, Vader's gonna interact with that helmet. That helmet
Oh yeah,
talks.
yeah, that.
Yeah, you don't need the person underneath. Nobody cares about the assistant. But yeah, apparently the helmet spoke to him, took him over, and then created Vader's castle, which we get to see the blueprints of, which we know is his castle because we see it later in Rogue One and such. So, yeah, that's basically it. All right, so let's go through here. You have the actual physical comic. I read it digitally. So you want to go through beginning to end, just talk about the stuff you like? Go for it.
All right, so I'll just go through this page by page. Honestly, I don't care.
Yep, go for it.
Starting out, they're on Padme's ship that Sidious gave him just to be a prick, because he is. And the first thing he sees is a kid version of himself with a Vader mask on.
Oh, no,
staring
no,
back
no.
at him.
It's not a Vader mask on. His face is
Oh, yeah.
the mask. Like, it's
Yeah,
creepier than that.
Ew, ew. Like, look, there's the one panel, like, you see the neck of it. Ew, it's creepy.
Yep. And it's literally Phantom Menace Anakin, but his face is the Vader mask. It's very creepy. He still has his hair, which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And everybody wants to know, why Mustafar, of all things? Why does everybody know what Mustafar is to begin with? I could not tell you, but a lot of people do, apparently.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knows that it's basically the Star Wars version of, like, the place that's literally hell. So,
I got Zillow beasts running around
so I
everywhere.
feel like
there.
it could probably be a common expression to, like, go to Mustafar.
That's we're using that. I'm gonna call John back just to say that for the 5th time. All right, so yeah, he's talking to Palpatine about it, and everyone's just being like, "So, like, okay, why Mustafar, man? Like, what's the point? Like, this is where you got crippled. Like, what purpose does this serve?" And Vader talking to Palpatine's like, he's like, "No, there's something here. There's a connection here. Like, it can make me stronger, way stronger than like I've ever been." And yeah, he accepts that because as in his own words, he says, "Your power is my power." So
I
yeah,
like
go
that.
ahead.
It's basically like, yeah, I'm down for you getting as powerful as you can because you're mine. So basically, you're just a tool. I just love the way
Yeah.
he said it. I was like, oh, man,
So he's
dominance.
yes. So he's given like the best architect who's way up her own butt.
Yeah, she's way too cocky.
And the assistant, I can't tell if they're equals or not, or it's just her assistant.
No,
I'm
it's
not
definitely.
sure.
I'm almost certain that's her
Yeah,
assistant.
that's like her whipping boy, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. And there's this helmet just sitting there in the spaceship where I thought they weren't going to acknowledge it the whole time, and I was going to be
Oh
pretty
no,
upset.
quite the
Like
opposite.
no 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 no
You know
no,
that
they
this
got
helmet
this
has shown up in the
awesome
comics
looking helmet.
before.
Ah,
It showed
I
up in
know
the
it.
Lando comic whenever Lando was robbing one of Palpatine's yachts full of his artifacts. That was one of the artifacts, and it made people start killing each other. And then it
So
also
good.
showed up in the Vader series. It was in whenever Joe Castanew broke back into the Jedi Temple into her secret room. That was one of the artifacts sitting there in her room. So she had that separate from any other Jedi in the entire order.
That's cool.
Which I mean, Sidious explains
And of
why
course,
later.
like all evil things, it draws people to touch it,
Yep.
just like Lord of the Rings kind of thing. And then they're like, "Oh my God, what's happening? The ship's going nuts." And Vader's trying to land the ship without shields. At first, I didn't understand why. I thought he just wanted to be awesome, which I'm okay with because he just
Yeah,
crashes right
I
into
was
space
like, is
stations
he
half
just
the
like
time.
showing off that he like can, like he's that good that he can do it? And then once he lands the ship and says better, it's like, okay, that makes sense. He
Well, I
wanted to
thought
destroy
I
it.
thought it was something like he's going there. He's like, "Well, with any luck, this will kill me."
That's I kind of thought it was that way too, because that's not out of the realm of possibility for Vader, where it's like, well, I'm going to be evil or like until I die, so like I'm just going to be totally reckless until that happens because I kind of want it to.
And when he lands the ship, it's like freaking mutilated to hell, right to Mustafar.
Yep. And
Oh
he's just like,
God!
that's better. I'm like,
And
oh
it weirdly,
man.
and if you go back to like how he looked as a kid with the mask fused to his face, it kind of looks similar to that.
Because it's all deformed and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't realize this. There's actual inhabitants on Mustafar, and they look awesome.
No, we've known that since some of them are in Revenge of the Sith.
I didn't know that.
Maybe we just see droids. No, I'm definitely sure because I have an action figure of I don't have. I had as a kid like a figure of one of the Mustafarians. They look a little different than they looked in the comics. So yeah, there's definitely at least a few of the actual like living workers in Revenge of the Sith. I mean, they're totally background characters. They're not main or anything.
Oh, they
but
look cool though.
yeah,
And like
they
they
are
apparently,
cool.
yeah, they have their own beliefs and everything. Like
I'm curious
one's-
to see if they will interact with Vader because they talk about how
Yep.
they're like, oh, that's fire whenever they see the ship landing, and they're like, is that life fire or death fire? And he's like, I don't know. We'll find
Yeah, we'll
out.
figure it out. Yeah,
Def-
and he actually like
Definitely
and
death fire.
the lava actually like molds to like show them what's going on, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
So I'm interested to see what kind of powers they got.
that was very interesting. I was surprised by that, but
Yeah, and everyone, the architects get out. They're like, "Holy hell, this guy's nuts!"
Oh yeah, they're like, wow, this is gonna be the hardest job ever, and she's like, but you know what? They wouldn't have called me if it wasn't the hardest job ever, and she gets to work.
Yeah, I hope she gets a hole in her chest or something. And then Vader explains why he wants the planet, and then they decide to design stuff. Vader stares at a rock for like 5 hours.
Oh
for
yeah,
some
Vader
reason.
tells Palpatine why he wants to play. I thought you didn't know. I thought you did. I thought you meant like to the architect.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, he never tells
just-
the architect.
He
He's
just
like,
he just tells her piss off pretty
yeah,
much.
he literally is like, just shut up the entire time
He's-
to her.
So I guess he's in a Sith temple, just staring at a rock.
Well, I don't even. Is it even a temple? Maybe.
Well,
I mean,
there's
it's
all the stuff.
definitely-
There's like
It's
there's
a
all the
Sith
stuff carved into it.
place. Yeah, I mean, like it
Yeah.
doesn't look like a temple, but it's clearly something. Which is where he was sent before. That's where he bled his lightsaber crystal.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, we'll design something really simple at first, and she goes to show him like, hey, I think you'll like this, and he just doesn't even look at her. He's like, yeah, you're wrong.
Because he he clearly just like, I don't even think it's like he's like, oh, I don't like the way it looks. It's just like he literally knows like that something is going to happen. Like he definitely senses it. Not as in like he senses the mask's going to kill her, but like he knows. Like,
Whoa,
no, that
whoa,
ain't the building
what?
that's going to be here.
What? I don't know that happens.
What? We literally
Oh.
already said that.
But no. And she goes back to go drinking and design the thing, and then she gets shot. Ha!
Yeah, her
Wrecked.
assistant literally shoots her. Which like some people were like, why did he put the mask on and kill her? It's like, or like, why did he put the mask on? I was like, he definitely didn't just feel like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna put this mask on because I can.
I'm
Like, it's an
bored.
ancient Sith Lord that can communicate through to people through that mask. Like,
Yeah.
he definitely made him do it. He wasn't like, oh, this would look good on me. Like, apparently that's something that a lot of people have been saying. Like, why did he put on the mask?
Jesus.
I'm like, I never thought it was that complicated. He clearly was possessed. Hence him
Yeah,
shooting
and
his
then,
boss.
Yeah, after he shoots his boss and Vader sees him, it cuts back to Palpatine explaining, like, hey, this is owned by Momin. He doesn't even acknowledge him as a Sith Lord, though.
He doesn't say Darth, really.
Yeah, he just calls him Momin. And he was but he was a dark side user, but he just like building stuff. That was his whole thing. He's like he like creating stuff.
Wait, does he
And
not
then
even say he was a Sith? Does he use the word
he's-
Sith or just dark side?
he said he had unusual paths through the dark side, like Lord Vader. That's what he tells him.
He never actually outright says Darth or Sith.
No, he does not.
Huh. I did not notice that. That's very interesting. Okay.
And then he's like, "Oh, the he's like, hey, like you can't find any of this." And Vader's like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "Oh, the mask told me."
I love that he's walking. He says that as he's walking away. How do you spell the name again?
It is Momin.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so it does say that he was a Sith on the wiki. It says he was an ancient lord of
Is
the
that
Sith
canon or not
and
canon?
sculptor. No, it's canon.
And I know the sculptures that Palpatine has in his office, I'm pretty sure are his. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Considered a heretic. But yeah, he was considered a heretic. He explains that he was considered a heretic by both the Jedi and the Sith.
Yeah,
'Cause,
so, like, I
like,
want to know like how he started out.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, clearly he was adopted into the Sith, but I'm guessing that like once he killed his master, he was like, "I'm gonna do things my way," and whoever his apprentice was like, you're crazy. That ain't the way to the Sith," and killed him. Is my guess.
What are you
but I
doing
don't-
wearing this mask all the time?
But yeah, he's considered a heretic by both the Jedi and the Sith, because the Sith were like, Sith are destroyers, not creators. What are you doing? And Jedi are like, good guys create. You're a Sith and you're like that's wrong. So literally everybody thought this dude was the worst. And Palpatine's like, yeah, since everyone hated this guy, I thought, like, oh yeah, this will be good for
You can
Vader."
relate.
Yeah, it's like, this will be good for you, so maybe it'll tell you something. It didn't tell him something, it made him something, and it made his castle. How cool is that Darth Vader's castle is made by an ancient Sith Lord? And not like, oh, we dug
I
up
love
some
how
blueprints.
fast he made it too.
It's not like, oh, we dug up blueprints from an ancient Sith Lord. Like, no, an ancient Sith Lord made it for Vader. Like, oh, that is so cool.
He made it so fast too, and like, because he started out with like her design and fixed it up in the time it took Vader to reach him.
Well, I feel like he used the Force. Is my guess.
I guess.
Like the way I
don't know,
took
mean,
it was that I didn't take it as like him. I mean, I don't know. He's a Sith Lord. I feel like he can use the Force to just be like, yep, there's a design. Like just
that
make it.
that
like
does
not-
bring up a good question.
I don't know.
It does bring up a good question though. Like, if somebody wears the mask, can he use force powers through their body? Like if they're
I
not
would
force
guess
sensitive at all.
no. I don't know. Like I would guess not because I don't think he's straight up. Like I think he struggled. Like he possesses people, but I don't think he like can speak or anything. It's like he can accomplish a task. Like he's sort of like a ghost that
Yeah.
still has work to do. Like he can't. He's not
I
like
really
a
wanna
full on
know-
spirit because otherwise he would have said something.
I really want to know about the guy now because like you see the mask, it's like cracked on all the front.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bet we'll find out something because the next issue we see in the very last panel is the cover is Vader holding up and looking at the mask. So they're gonna have some discussion, I bet.
Yeah. So Charles Soule, the writer, this man. This man.
He wrote the comics that have this helmet in them. the Lando comic and then also the previous
Yeah, I
issues
do
that had
find
in
it. I thought Vader was gonna end up like destroying the mask for some reason, like in a few issues. But like, yeah, I guess it survived for like Lando to get it.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was like, how do you know that? But no, you're right. Yeah, Lando has to get it later, so or like, well, I
Yes.
mean, he at least sees it. Yeah, so like that's what it's like. Yeah, it is existing later. So, what if Vader like tries to destroy it and it can't be destroyed? Or he destroys
Yeah.
it, turned his back, and it's like not destroyed. I don't know.
I could see it like going into the lava and just surviving.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sure that we're gonna get some interaction between the two. Like Vader's gonna find some stuff out from him. And I'm curious if there'll be another time skip, because like, what else is he gonna do on Mustafar if like the castle isn't built yet? It's like, well, what is?
I
he
just want to
still
see.
do there?
I just want like somebody trying to attack his castle once. I think that'd be
It's
great.
very possible. I mean, Snoke supposedly got his ring from Vader's castle on Mustafar, the black stone ring.
Yeah.
So like, I'm curious if that will be not necessarily shown like
Yeah, well-
as in like, oh, Snoke just goes under his castle and gets a black rock. No, like I mean like, will it be set up like, oh yeah, and there's like this precious material in the basement, or like, yeah, here's an artifact or something like. Will that be hinted at somewhat, not like outright
I would
shown?
hope so. I would sure hope so.
I don't know.
I feel like the natives are definitely gonna like try and attack Vader, and like it's just gonna be a great fight.
I don't know. Part of me wonders if he's gonna like rule them, cause like I don't know.
Yeah, I
What
don't
do
know.
you
I mean,
like the
I
planet?
feel like somebody's gonna try to attack him, and like after he just wrecks them, they're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, fine, we'll just build it. We'll build it. It's cool. It's cool.
I didn't even think about them being the ones to build it. I just assumed they would send Imperials to build it.
Well, I know the lady said when she was designing the ship, like it's good to use like the materials from the planet. So I figured that was just like foreshadowing, if anything.
I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious.
See, you notice all the armors. I notice this.
But yeah, that's certainly interesting. Is there anything else to say about this other than, ooh, we should rate it? So in terms of like other episodes, other the issues of the Vader series. So like on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank it?
I'm a great fan of world building and like history for stuff, so I'm gonna say this is like 6.5 or 7.
I'd give it a solid 7. I think it's really good. It's just like there isn't much. Like my only complaint about it is like there's no action.
Oh, when you look at it as like, I think when you look at it as like part of the series as a whole, it just makes it that much better. But yeah, if somebody just picked this up and read it, it'd be like, oh, okay. That's
Like
kinda
it's still
cool.
very interesting, especially with the Lord moment and everything. But like,
Yeah.
it just as a standalone issue, it's just like it is a little bit like lackluster in terms of like stuff happening. It's just
But-
there's interesting elements presented that we're gonna get more of in the future. So that's why I give it a 7.
Oh yeah.
But it's still very
Like-
good.
Like I think the whole big part of this series is like, yeah, we're gonna get some great action scenes with them, but it's also about like exploring the psychology of like
Oh
himself.
yeah. It's not just the action. Like that's if it was just the action, I wouldn't be nearly as big of a fan of this series as I am. It's the Vader, the characterization of him, and the stuff he has to go through mentally, not just physically. That's what makes it so interesting. But yeah. So is there anything else we should talk
No.
about with this?
I greatly enjoyed myself.
Yeah, man, this was awesome. So, but anyways, if you want to catch more Star Wars stuff, we also have our show Holocron Herald. You can check out. We on the most recent episode, we break down the 2 Zillow Beast episodes, which are interesting to go back to. Because in all honesty, John was talking about how much he hated them before. He's been saying
And now
that
he's
for a couple
dead.
weeks,
And now he's dead.
and he wasn't on the episode. Sadly, so we didn't get to hear.
Well,
his
he was. He
perspective, but-
was.
Well, yes, but
Uh,
that's edited out, so nobody knows what you're talking about. If you
Go
want to
on
know
in
what
the
he's
vault.
talking about, though, you know what you should do? You should tweet at him. Luke, what's your Twitter?
Oh, it is Darth_Sand66, where I go out of my way to annoy Eric and John and make weird statements about comics and stuff.
He barely goes on there, but he does go on there. He goes
When
on
I
there
do,
more
it
than-
matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody
You
notices
do-
when I do.
you do
Like
stuff.
when Eric tweets out like 20 times, I don't notice any of them. But when I'm on there like once a month, and actually post something. Like I'm on it every day. I just never say anything.
But yeah, and then you can check out Holocron Herald as mentioned by subscribing to Nerdy Geek Talk, any podcast place, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, all that stuff. Nerdy Geek Talk, you'll get all of our podcasts, that Steel City Bots, NGT reviews, everything all in there. And then also on YouTube, you can subscribe to Nerdy Geek Talk to get those podcasts as well. And then you can find me at Eric Crowbar on Twitter, at Aramis Prime on Instagram. Oh, and I didn't mention this when we recorded Holocron Herald. You can also find me on YouTube. I just started a YouTube channel, Eric Crownover. So you can go
Nice.
subscribe to me
That's
there.
easy to find, I guess.
Yeah, it's literally my
Eric
name.
Crown Under.
It's-
Eric Crown Under.
No, Crown Over, not Crown Under. But anyways,
I don't even know what you put on there.
my YouTube channel?
Yeah, what do you put on
I
there?
just started it. I literally, as of right this second, there is only just an intro video explaining what will be up on there. But I'm gonna start uploading some videos probably tonight.
Is it me? It better be me.
Nope, it's Transformers news and stuff.
It better be me.
It's just my personal take, short stuff. So yeah, definitely go to all those places. Check
Fisk
us
is
out.
the greatest.
I think that's about it. So thanks for listening. We will catch you next time. See ya.
Well,